Being notified that your website is down is incredibly important, but what matters just as much is the way in which you monitor, because different test types look for different problems, and if you use the wrong one, real-world issues can be missed, or you can just create unnecessary noise. In this video, I'm going to go through the different uptime tests in StatusCake and show you when you should use them. At a high level, an uptime test is a check that runs at a set interval and confirms whether a service is responding the way you expect it to. What changes between test type is what's being checked, how deep that check goes, and where failures are likely to be detected. The most common uptime test is the HTTP test. This checks whether a web page responds over HTTP or HTTPS and returns the expected status code. It's ideal for websites, APIs, login pages, and customer-facing endpoints. If you want to know whether users can actually reach your site, this is usually where you start. A head test is similar to an HTTP test, but instead of downloading the full page, it only checks the response headers. That makes it faster and lighter, and it's useful when availability matters more than content. A ping test checks basic network connectivity. It confirms that a server responds at the network level, but it does not tell you whether a website or application is actually working. This is more useful for infrastructure monitoring. A TCP test goes one step further. Instead of just checking connectivity, it checks whether a specific port is open and accepting connections. This is commonly used for services like databases, mail servers, or custom applications. A DNS test checks whether a domain resolves correctly. This is especially useful when you've recently made DNS changes, or if your service relies heavily on correct name resolution. DNS issues can take a site completely offline, even when the server itself is healthy. An SMTP test is used to monitor email servers. It checks whether the mail server is reachable and responding correctly, which is useful if email delivery is critical to your business. An SSH test checks whether an SSH service is accessible. This is typically used by technical teams who need to know whether they can access a server rather than whether a website is available to users. A push test works slightly differently. Instead of StatusCake checking your service checks in with StatusCake. If that check-in doesn't happen within the expected time window, the test is marked as down. These are commonly used for background jobs or scheduled tasks. The important thing to remember is that no single uptime test is best. It depends on what you're monitoring, what kind of failures you care about, and how much alert noise you're willing to tolerate. In many cases, teams use more than one test type for better coverage. In the next videos, I'll walk through each of these test types individually and show you how to set them up properly, along with sensible defaults and common mistakes to avoid. If you're not sure where to start, the HTTP test is usually a safe option for most websites.